Tbilisi говорит.
Okay. Right. Зачитаем отрывок для подготовки. Баля Сулам, статья к завершению книги «Золот».
In preparation for the lesson, Baal Sulam, a speech for the completion of the Zohar. Spiritual adhesion can only be depicted as equivalence of form. Hence, by equalizing our form with the form of His qualities, we become attached to Him. This is why they said, as He is merciful. In other words, all His actions are to bestow and benefit others, and not at all for His own benefit, since He has no deficiencies that require complementing. And also, He has no one from whom to receive. Similarly, all your actions will be to bestow and to benefit others. Thus you will equalize your form with the form of the qualities of the Creator, and this is spiritual adhesion. Workshop question. How do we, as a 10, enter the lesson in equivalence of form with the Creator? Again, how do we, as a 10, enter the lesson in equivalence of form with the Creator?
Yes, this is the question that yesterday we had throughout the day. How do we equalize our desire with Him so that He will equalize His desire with us? How do we do it? I think the most important is that there has to be a common inclination of the heart.
A common inclination of the heart, and also I think that we need to constantly be in a state of effort and concentration, inner concentration, so as to always generate that atmosphere which will cause each and every one of us to maintain the demand.
Equivalence of form with the Creator, that is, equivalence of form with the friends. We must hold the friends, and along with that, the Creator, so that everything that we get from Him.
We will make an effort and invite the light so that we can treat the friends as the Creator treats them. Meaning that we equate our intention with that of the Creator.
And the Creator relates to us as one. So it's better if we make an effort to also relate to ourselves as one, until we feel one. Until then, we can ask together that we will feel as one. And that way, we will advance towards equivalence of form.
Yes, that's the essence of it, to relate to ourselves as one, to the friends as parts of that, of the same desire that I have, and to constantly ask for the connection of this desire, so that what perhaps doesn't seem to me as such will appear to me as such.
Yes, because from the demand from connection, it is indeed possible to discover many things. And you can also see the gaps where we are and where we would like to be, and to gradually make the demand more precise.
Yes, the demand is all that we need. To demand of the Creator and of the friends. What do you mean? What do I mean by demand of the friends? Well, to ask for them. But yeah, we do need to have a demand from each other to constantly maintain the correct thought and worry, more a concern, I would say.
Yes, the concern makes a place in the heart for prayer, a place where we can invite the light. and point at exactly what it is that we want. We need a very precise scrutiny in order to invite it.
And we want to feel that we are one, so that we can bestow contentment upon the Creator. And this is what we demand. This is what we make an effort to feel when we read these articles, when we open tests, because this is what it describes.
And alongside this demand, we know that the light is what works. This means that we constantly make the effort as we try to see ourselves as one, and with a request for that, we should also have the anticipation that we are not the ones who complete the work. Rather, it is actually that we would like to know where else we need to ask in a more precise manner.
Yes, because to constantly return to that matter of equivalence of form with the Creator, this is in our qualities and desires, to feel how each and every desire we have is actually His desire to construct. There is none else besides Him, and only by establishing this correct yearning, the correct perception, perhaps, or outlook, then we can begin to manufacture the next degree.
The 10s on duty. 10 number 8 from Mexico, Tbilisi, Naharia, 10 number 1 from Nuremberg, and Petach Tikva, number 100. I was asked to say a few words before the lesson, this holy lesson. It's never simple to bring your heart before everyone. It's really not simple. And this is how we practice in our heart. This is called work in the heart. By any kind of practice, it becomes stronger. You have to tolerate spirituality, which is such a crazy emotion that you have to prepare it for many years. You have to prepare your heart, to feel it, to tolerate it, and to actually enjoy it. L'chaim.
What Meron did not say is that he came from Naharia to be here in the 10 on duty with us. And the next passage we'll read is from Baal Sulam, Messiah's shofar, disclosing Kabbalah to all the nations is a precondition for the complete redemption. You must understand these intimations. The issue of the shofar is only the disclosure of the wisdom of the hidden in great masses, which is the necessary precondition that must be met prior to the complete redemption. Second workshop question. How, during this lesson and generally, do we maintain a concern to fulfill our role to bring the light to the world? How, during this lesson and generally, do we maintain a concern to fulfill our role to bring the light to the world?
There's no topic which is more actual, more relevant than this, especially these days. And this concern can live in us only if we generate it. Like in this workshop, when we think about it, we talk about it, and by that, our mind wakes up and the heart wakes up.
Yes, and to care for the world, that's the essence of our actual role. Sometimes we feel that we're in this hothouse, perhaps some course or study where we develop some kind of method, practicing it on ourselves, but we mustn't forget the goal. The goal is for all the parts of the soul, all our brothers. Yes, part of our more corrected selves will also need a correction, and if we aspire to that, we'll achieve it, and if we don't, we won't achieve anything.
Yes, out of our efforts, we're drawn to reach adhesion with the Creator, with His qualities, His quality of bestowal. And we discover the difficulty, we discover that it is possible to cope with it, trying to get closer between us, trying to have responsibility over others in the world, and also desires that are further away, that are inside of you. This is our work. In the end, there's one Creator who is revealed in one soul that works in connection as one opposite Him.
The truth is, I don't know how we are supposed to do it. We need to trust the light to flip some inner switch in us. Obviously, it won't happen just like that. There needs to be a demand for it, but really to care for each other and for the world, it's something that's completely above nature.
But it's possible to act as though it is important for us, and this has an influence. If I give an example that it's important for me to disseminate, I give an example that it's important for me to pass the message of the wisdom of Kabbalah to the world, then even if I'm not in it 100%, but I demonstrate it, I create an environment and a tent which is in it. If the environment is in it, then I also am compelled to be in it.
And it's really important. It's actually the most important. If we're talking about needing to be one, our goal to connect, to be as one, is so that we can fulfill our role, to reach a situation, a state where people feel that something is happening here, that here there's divinity, that here there is light, and here is the meaning of life, and for that we need to connect.
And I think that there is also the external world who is reminding us about it, in the suffering that it suffers, and also in its complaints against us, the people of Israel. And we must feel the responsibility over these states. These are states of lack of connection with the Creator. And we here have each and every day an open ticket to this fountain.
And as the people of Israel are right now in a time where they proclaim their independence, it shows us that our independence is our role, that there is hope to perform these actions. And even this holiday was...
Good morning, friends. We remind you that using cell phones during the lesson is strictly prohibited, except for people on duty who received a personal approval. Anyone asking a question is asked to stand up, hold the microphone close to his mouth, and speak loud and clear. We will begin the lesson with selected passages for the Israeli Memorial Day and Independence Day. And we're continuing with a quiet preparation for the lesson.
Hello. Today we will have a lesson on the topic of Memorial Day and Independence Day. Questions can be asked online on kab.tv. The lesson can be watched there as well.
Of course, they need to be together, Israel Memorial Day and Independence Day, because memory means where are we from, remembering what is this special nation that on the one hand it is said that it's not counted among the nations. Suddenly it was born out of some group that one person has put together, people who have no connection between them other than the fact that they agreed to be directed together towards one abstract spiritual idea, not a corporeal one, not an earthly one, not out of this world. And we see that this idea has been holding them together. On the one hand, it doesn't let them completely scatter. On the other hand, it positions against them all the nations of the world. And that way, they agree, they have been existing with this idea longer than any other nation has existed. And this idea is so powerful that it gives the whole of humanity its structural, educational, corporeal and spiritual structure. Not even the greatest nation could have had such an influence over the whole of humanity. And it is still happening to this very day. And who knows what is yet going to be in the future. So this phenomenon is a very odd one. It's very special. And in truth, the people themselves, the nation, doesn't know it. And all the nations of the world don't know. What exactly are they stumbling against? What are they stumbling against? What is happening here? It's a kind of truly some weird phenomenon which is not understood. We need to learn it. So, when we say memory, remembering, it's not just remembering the people who gave their lives to establish this state that we have now. Rather, in general, remembering where this nation is from, where this people is from, where does it stem from, and its independence, and why, nevertheless, it is called a nation, a people, even though it's not a nation, not a people, as we define it in our world, with all the other groups of people. So, we need to research the roots, and by knowing the roots, we can extend the history, and as we remember the whole process we've been through, we might realize what is happening to us today and where we're headed. Please.
The first excerpt is from Rambam, The Strong Arm Laws of Idolatry, Chapter 1. At 40 years of age, Abraham came to know his Maker. He rose and began to call out to the whole world with great fervor, informing them that there is but one God for the whole world, and He is the one to be worshipped. He would walk, calling and gathering people as he went from city to city and from kingdom to kingdom, until arriving at the land of Canaan, proclaiming, as it is written, and he proclaimed there, in the name of the Lord, God of the world. Since the people flocked to him and questioned his words, he taught each one according to their understanding until he converted them to the path of truth, until thousands and tens of thousands joined him. And they are the people of the house of Abraham. He instilled this great tenet in their hearts and composed books about it. He taught it to Isaac, his son, and Isaac sat, teaching and converting, and Isaac taught it to Jacob and appointed him to teach, and he sat, teaching and converting all those who accompanied him, and Jacob, our patriarch, taught all his sons. And the notion grew and intensified among the sons of Jacob and those who accompanied them. Thus, a nation that knew the Creator was made.
So, we see from here already about what it says here, that first there is this very special incident that one person at the age of 40 came to the recognition of this godly message, and he continued it, and he called upon anyone who could join, without any difference regarding sex, race, nationality, or anything else. Rather, each and every one who would listen and who accepted this idea would join him. And then, as it says here, and a nation was made in the world who knew the Lord. This actually is what it's about. To assemble people who have an inclination to get to know the Creator of the world. So, from here we have to realize, to get to know our root, our destiny, the force that is holding us, according to which we do connect and become a nation, and without knowing the Creator and making that the purpose of our existence, we have no need to be together. And apparently from above also we won't receive the confirmation and the strength to exist, and by ourselves, of course, we will find no reason that will hold us and assemble us together. So, to begin with, the reason for our existence is a spiritual reason. To begin with, this nation is not about people who have some corporeal proximity of this world, from one family, one tribe, one region. No. Actually, it's those who are completely opposite, completely different. As in the end of the generations, it will also be this way, that everyone will connect for this purpose of discovering the Creator. So, all of these weird conditions, unusual ones, for how each other nation exists and develops, this is what we have actually in the people of Israel. And from here onward, we can understand that their history and also their existence and their laws and their fate and whatever happens to them, the forces that work on them, it all has to be very, very different from any other nation. So, let us just kind of recite this, focus it. What is the reason for this nation? What is the message, which is the foundation of the nation, and what are the forces that work on it, and what is its fate? Just say a few sentences about it, please. Rav, seemingly you need to explain it to students or to anyone, so 2-3 sentences. Let's try, please.
The foundation, the essence, is knowing the Creator, recognizing the general rule that operates all of reality, and its destiny, its purpose, as it was composed of many different peoples. Ultimately, everyone needs to join this nation gradually.
Maybe we can explain it that this nation has the role of being a passageway for the light to the entire world. And this role obligates them to be connected, bonded, to search how to come into contact with the Creator, to be as a conduit between the Creator and the world.
Yes, and on this foundation, the nation was founded. That's its essence. Everyone wants to know their root, so our root is in those people who assembled in order to discover that singular force that controls all of reality.
Yes, gathering around the understanding of nature and even the responsibility to pass this understanding to the whole world, that's our nation. And this is what unites them, this is what makes them a nation. That recognition and the desire, the need to pass that message on.
Yes, a nation which is founded upon the desire to discover the Creator. A group of people who've gathered together to discover the Creator. That's our origin.
I would add that we are a nation whose foundation is that it has a very clear and important role, which is to unite the world. It is to give the world the feeling, the ability to come back and become one.
And primarily this is done internally, meaning by applying, creating this united structure, we become a source of inner plenty and abundance which enters the world and makes it more, balanced.
The forces that work on Israel, on our nation, come from two directions. We are under pressure from the nations of the world, with respect to whom we're not bringing them what they need in order to exist. That light, that knowledge of the world, of the Lord, and the quality of bestowal, the value of connection. And on the other hand, also pressure from the upper one to develop to that place. And in between these two forces, we have to gather ourselves and connect. We have to ask for help in order for this to be realized.
Yes, actually we have no validity as a nation if we don't perform this role. We're not called a nation if we don't perform what is upon us.
Yes, our realization as a nation is indeed to take what we were given, to understand it by ourselves, to actualize it by ourselves, and to disseminate it. Meaning to serve as an example, serve as a passageway of this wisdom to the whole world that can somehow understand it, and that's a great responsibility.
Yes, that is the message at the foundation of the nation, which is called Israel, to declare that there is an upper force governing reality, and that the way to discover it is through love thy friend as thyself. And in all those ways where we try to convey this message, ultimately we want to become equivalent to the Creator.
Rav, so what should we do, corporeally and spiritually, as this group, that nation that was founded by Abraham? What is upon us to do in corporeality and in spirituality as that group of Abraham, in order to be a nation?
In the spiritual form of it, we need to first of all agree with this role we have and to actualize it ourselves.
Ourselves means to reach connection above the tremendous exile that we're still in, and to operate according to the method, above reason, and to unite. That's first. And out of that, to begin to act towards the broader circle, which is the whole world.
Yes, to connect and to disseminate. Spiritually speaking, we need to ask the upper light, the reforming light, to correct our inability to connect, so that we become as one united Kli, as one man with one heart. And corporeally speaking, we need to deliver the knowledge of the Creator to the world in every possible way, so that they'll be able to understand the process which the world is undergoing and the dangers at hand, and the opportunity to live in a different world.
Are we talking with respect to ourselves or with respect to the nation? Are we supposed to answer with respect to us? Okay. Connection is the best dissemination. If we connect, the light will simply spread in the world.
I think that ultimately this is the application of the method. To implement it means that we don't only understand it, but also apply it amongst ourselves. And part of this action, as part of it, we cannot ignore the fact that we cannot be a nation, serve as a nation, or understand the system if we don't pass this message through us to other parts of the body.
Yes, I'll just repeat what you said, that with respect to anything related to the spiritual side, we have to connect and draw the light, make as much efforts as possible in order to feel each other as one. On the corporeal level, as much as we can talk this way, simply to disseminate, to pass the message in as many forms as possible.
Love. What is our primary duty from among all of our other obligations, you could say, or duties? What is our primary duty, around which we need to be established as a nation?
To be the light for the nations, as a passageway to create a form of bestowal in the world.
It's from us being connected, and not just, but from us wanting to bestow contentment to the Creator.
I think that to constantly be in a prayer to the Creator, out of our familiarity with the system, out of our desire to bestow to Him contentment, we have to constantly bring the Creator into each and every thought, each and every work, each and every action that we perform.
We need to be connected to the upper force, which will perform this.